residents in Diepsloot are calling for the removal of foreign nationals who they blame for the high crime rate in the area and for taking their jobs. This comes weeks after similar violent scenes led by Operation Dudula took place in the Alexandra township. For more on this, we're joined now by Gugu Ncube, who is the Deputy Chairperson of the Women's Desk at the African Diaspora. Gugu, it's great to talk to you this morning. And I want us to unpack both sides of this issue. What residents in Diepsloot are talking about insofar as the threat of illegal migrants is concerned. Is there any validity to what they are saying?
There is absolutely no validity, Michelle. This is just, it's so sad because the government is the xenophobic institution number one. Michelle, I want to say, if ANC failed to score any votes the previous years, they shouldn't be using the migrants as a scapegoat to their failures to do service delivery. Look, there is crime all over. So if this Operation Dudula is only targeting the high-density suburbs, then I've got a problem with that. It merely shows that there is no validity surrounding the matter, Michelle.
When police tell us that 24 people have been arrested in the wake of what's unfolding in Diepsloot overnight, and that the bulk of those people are illegal migrants, how do you respond to that, Gugu?
Michelle, I'm very glad that you are saying the bulk.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean all of them. It therefore says in South Africa we also have people that are committing crime. Why should we be associating crime to a nationality? Zimbabwe is not a crime. Botswana is not a crime. South Africa needs to start living with other countries in harmony, because the same things that South Africans are doing to the migrants in South Africa, if those things are to be done in other countries, South Africans will not like it, Michelle. We don't want as Africa to get to that point. And I'm saying to South Africans, can we live in harmony as Africans? Because we've got criminals all over. We cannot say Zimbabweans are criminals. No. We've got, if you go to the prisons, Michelle, there are South Africans there. Actually, 90% of the prisoners in the prisons are South Africans. So what is happening to those foreigners? Why does everyone who is a foreigner, the first thing that people see is a criminal first, before anything else? Why do we have to do that?
Of course, Gugu, we know the risk that this kind of talk holds for our country. We don't have to cast our minds back very far. I believe it was 2008, 2009, where we saw that outbreak of xenophobic violence across several parts of our country. Gauteng was incredibly hard hit in that round of attacks. That is the risk that is posed by the kinds of comments coming from community leaders.
Say that again, Michelle. And it's so sad because the ministers like Minister Motsoaledi, he has got no record or whatsoever that is positive to show from his previous serving in the government as a Minister of Health. Right now, he's just trying to cover up as the Minister of Home Affairs. Minister Motsoaledi needs to start delivering than to find excuses of not delivering using the foreign nationals. It doesn't work that way. And I want to say to Minister Motsoaledi, Michelle, Mr. Motsoaledi, if any of your girlfriends was a foreign national and dumped you or whatsoever, please go and fix out whatever your differences you have with that girlfriend of yours. Stop taking out your anger on every migrant that you come across. It cannot be that way in Africa. It can't.
Gugu, you know, how do we come to grips with this in our communities now? Because this is at the heart of these violent protests we're seeing. Last week it was in Alexandra. This week it's in Diepsloot. People are losing their lives in these protests. How do we help communities come to grips with this issue when they are also set on blaming illegal migrants?
We need to workshop Africans. Africans need to wake up, Michelle. While we are blaming each other, the politicians are busy looting. The politicians are busy perpetrating a lot of corruption in the country, stealing the state resources, while the poor are attacking each other, Michelle. If it was the state, the issue of crime, Michelle, look at Sandton. There are a lot of drug lords in Sandton. Look at Pretoria West. There are a lot of drug lords there. But none of this Operation Dudula has been there. Why does the Operation Dudula only target the poor communities? Why? Where only poor Africans are living? Because they are scared of those low-density suburbs where rich people stay. They can afford everything. But these are the places where the drugs are manufactured, where the drugs are distributed. We saw it in the previous years where the police had to bust a lot of, manufacturing houses in Sandton, in Pretoria West. But none of the Operation Dudula people are going there. Why are we fighting among each other as poor Africans? Why can't we share the little that we have as Africans?
As the African diaspora, Gugu, are these the kinds of conversations that you are a part of as we try to come to grips with this issue?
Definitely, Michelle. In African diaspora, we are engaging each other. We're engaging every African to say, look, we shouldn't be fighting among ourselves. The enemy is the government. The enemy is the ruling party that has failed to deliver the services. Now they are trying to find a scapegoat. We are not the enemies. A poor foreigner is not the enemy. They just came here also to work. In any case, Michelle, most of those migrants that are here, they are actually being manipulated by their employers. So they are also victims, and now they are being further victimized. I also listened to a statement by Minister Motsoaledi, who said in 2013 in the hospitals, most of the women who were delivering there were foreign nationals. Mr. Motsoaledi needs to bring on the table empirical evidence, and I challenge him to bring that. Something that was authored by scholars, not to just come out here and try to score political points. It's not going to work. And again, the president needs to be aware of what he's saying. The president is afraid of other African leaders, and the president comes out here and utters empty political statements which are not aiding any African country or any African citizen. The president needs to come out and be sincere about dealing with these issues. While we're doing something in the African diaspora, we need the president as citizen number one to come on board and stop whatever this nonsense is happening here. We cannot have Africans killing each other, strangling each other. I've never heard a single Dudula member calling a white person a migrant or an illegal whatsoever. I don't believe anybody can be illegal. There's no person called an illegal person. It doesn't work that way, Michelle.
Gugu Ncube, let me thank you for your time this morning. The Deputy Chairperson of the Women's Desk at the African Diaspora, essentially telling us that government is using the issue of migrants, of illegal migrants, as a scapegoating issue for other challenges in the country, including, of course, Gauteng hospitals have been in the headlines. You heard what she had to say there about Aaron Motsoaledi's assertion that mostly illegal migrants are giving birth in Gauteng's hospital, and that's putting added pressure. That's what the minister had to say. She's also talking about it being another scapegoat for high crime levels in particular parts of our country.